My poor woman who never asked for anything, yet gave me everything. She walked beside me softly, with hands that carried dust, yet in her quiet trembling palms, she held my deepest trust. She never asked for diamonds, nor gold to wear or show. She only kept her gentle heart, where love could bloom and grow. Her eyes were worn with sorrow, yet filled with mercy still. A woman made of sacrifice, of patience, strength, and will. She'd smile through aching silence, through nights of hidden pain, and give me all her tenderness, without expecting gain. I watched her mend my broken days, with words she never said. A woman poor in worldly things, but rich in soul instead. She gave me warmth in winters, and shade in burning heat. She placed her blessings in my hands, and pain beneath her feet. She never asked for anything, not even for her tears. She carried all my burdens across the passing years. And though the world ignored her, I saw her kingdom rise, a queen without a single crown, but heaven in her eyes. She woke before the sunrise, and prayed before she spoke. Her whispers touched the morning light, and wrapped me like a cloak. She walked with quiet footsteps, so I could sleep in peace. Her love became the gentle wind that made my worries cease. She stitched my dreams with patience. She fed my hope with grace, while hiding all her shattered parts behind her smiling face. She gave without a measure. She loved without a claim. Her heart the kind of miracle that angels speak by name. When hunger touched our table, she'd give her share to me, and say, "I'm fine, I'm not that tired," though tired as one could be. Her hands were worn and trembling, yet strong in tender ways. They built a world around my soul, through long and lonely days. She never asked for anything, not comfort, rest, or fame. She only wished for my success, and whispered blessings in my name. And though her life was fragile, her spirit stood like fire. A woman poor in worldly needs, but endless in desire. Desire to see me standing, to watch my future rise. She gave me everything she could, while losing her own skies. She carried all my sorrows, as if they weighed like air, and hid her darkest moments, so I would never care. She'd wipe her tears in silence, before I walked inside, and greet me with a gentle smile, where all her pain would hide. She held my broken pieces, and never let them fall. She whispered strength into my bones, until I stood tall. When life became a battle, she fought without a shield. A woman with no armor on, yet never chose to yield. Her prayers were my protection, her breath my guiding light. She stayed awake through storms of fear, so I could sleep at night. She'd give me her last blessing, her last small piece of bread, and say, "I'm full, don't worry," though hunger burned instead. She lived for my tomorrow. She walked through yesterday. Her love the quiet miracle that never fades away. And though the world forgot her, I never could forget the woman who gave everything, without a single debt. She asked for almost nothing, just peace for me to see. She carried heavy mountains, so life felt light for me. A woman poor in money, but rich in every part. Her wealth was love eternal, the treasure of her heart. She walked through burning seasons, yet never let me know. She hid her tired footsteps well, so mine could freely go. When storms began to tremble, she stood in front of me, a fragile soul with iron will, as brave as one could be. She softened all my failures, and lifted every fear. Her voice became a quiet home, that kept my spirit near. She'd warm my hands in winter, then hide her own from sight, pretending she felt nothing, while shaking through the night. She gave me all her courage. She gave me all her years. She traded all her laughter to shelter all my tears. She never asked for silver, nor begged for anything. Her richest gifts were priceless things that only love can bring. Her dreams were always smaller, so mine could rise and grow. She placed her life behind me, where I would never know. And though her world was quiet, her heart was loud and strong. A woman made of tenderness, who carried me so long. She never asked for anything, not praise, nor crown, nor throne, yet gave me every part of her, until I called it home. She was a silent river, flowing between stones, never complaining, never slowing down, even when life placed 1,000 weights upon her trembling hands. She would wake before dawn, not because anyone forced her, but because love pulled her. Like a soft whisper, she moved through the house, like a gentle prayer, unseen, unheard, yet every corner glowed with the warmth she left behind. She never said, "I'm tired." She never said, "Why me?" She never asked for rest, for help, for comfort, or for praise. She simply kept giving, as if her heart was made only to serve, only to care, only to love. When I fell, she stood beside me. When I broke, she held the pieces, without letting her own hands bleed. When the world doubted me, she looked at me, as if I was still capable of becoming something greater. And even today, when life has taken so much from her, youth, strength, time, she still smiles at me, with eyes that say, "I am proud of you." Even though she is the reason I survived. She could have asked for wealth, for comfort, for a better life, but she never did. She only asked for one thing, that I stay good, stay kind, stay human. And I still owe her everything. She walked through life with wounded feet, but a fearless heart. No one knew how many storms she crossed, because she never let her pain make a sound. When the world ignored her, she still smiled. When life pressed her down, she still rose. When everything she loved was slipping away, she still held on, not for herself, but for the people she quietly protected. She would fold her sadness like old clothes and hide them in the dark, so no one could see how heavy her nights were. Her dreams faded, one by one, but she kept others' dreams alive, as if that was her only purpose. Sometimes I watched her hands, thin, tired, shaking, yet somehow still strong enough to lift my entire world. There was no crown on her head, but she carried the weight of a kingdom. She never sat down to count what she lost. She never waited for someone to notice. She never complained that life was unfair. Instead, she whispered, "It's okay, keep going," even when she was the one breaking. And now, when I look at her, older, slower, softer, I see a lifetime of sacrifices hidden behind her quiet smile. She is the kind of woman who creates miracles just by surviving. I wish she had asked for something, anything, but she never did. She only gave. And every blessing I hold today is built on the pieces she tore from herself to shape my future. She lived her whole life between silence and sacrifice. Every time fate tried to bring her down, she stood again, not because she was strong, but because she refused to let darkness win. She loved in a way the world doesn't understand. A love without noise, without demands, without expecting anything back. A love that rebuilds others while breaking itself quietly. Her eyes held stories she never told, Stories of nights where she swallowed tears so the house would remain peaceful. Stories of days where hunger touched her, but she fed someone else first. People admired her patience, never knowing how much of her soul it had already eaten. People loved her calmness, never knowing how many storms she had buried inside. She wasn't a queen, yet she ruled hearts. She wasn't rich, yet she gifted comfort. She wasn't powerful, yet she moved mountains with nothing but gentleness. And now, as time writes lines on her tired face, I realize every line is a chapter of what she endured, so I could grow. If I could gather every breath she spent on me, I would build a palace of gratitude around her. But she would still smile and say softly, "I never needed anything," because that is who she is, a poor woman in the world's eyes, but the richest soul my life will ever know. She walked through life with a courage that never announced itself. Her strength was quiet, hidden in the way she held her pain behind closed eyes and opened her smile for the world. She lived like a candle, burning herself just to give others light. Every sorrow she carried was folded neatly into silent prayers, and every dream she lost became a shelter for someone else's hope. Her voice was soft, but her heart had the weight of mountains. She never stepped back from hardship. She simply lowered her head and bore it as if nothing could frighten her. There were days when loneliness clung to her, yet she made others feel they were never alone. There were moments she wanted to rest, yet she pushed forward because someone needed her. She did not wear gold, but her kindness shined brighter than any jewel. She did not hold power, but her compassion moved more hearts than any king ever could. And now, when I stand beside her, I see the truth that everything I am, everything I built, everything I dream of, is rooted in the sacrifices she made quietly, without witnesses, without applause. If love had a shape, it would look like her. Simple, tired, but endlessly giving. If devotion had a name, it would be hers, written softly in the corners of my life. My poor woman, who never asked for anything, yet somehow managed to give me everything. She carried a world that never thanked her, yet she never let bitterness touch her heart. Every trial she faced became a lesson of patience, and every wound she hid became a silent chapter of her unmatched strength. She lived without luxury, but her soul was rich, rich with kindness, rich with forgiveness, rich with the kind of love that expects nothing, yet gives without limit. When the nights were long and heavy with worries, she tucked hope into the corners of her prayers and whispered blessings for people who never knew how much she carried for them. Her life was not easy, but she wore her struggle like a soft veil, never showing how deep the cuts were, never revealing how loud her heart cried when no one was watching. She was the kind of woman who saved others while drowning quietly, the kind of woman who calmed storms she never created, the kind of woman whose presence was a shelter even when she needed a shelter herself. She never asked fate for a smooth path. She simply kept walking, step after trembling step, until the world mistook her endurance for magic. And now, when I see her hands, aged, faded, trembling, I realize they are the map of every sacrifice she made for me. My poor woman, who owned so little, yet gave more than anyone ever could. She never spoke of her tired days, nor counted all the nights she wept. Her love was quiet, unwavering, a river deep and vast, flowing without demand, giving life to all who needed it. She bore the weight of unspoken grief, yet smiled when the sun rose. Her hands, though small and worn, held the strength to lift my world. She carried dreams not her own, and tucked away her own desires, turning each sacrifice into light. For the people she cherished most, no one noticed her faintest struggle. No one heard her silent prayers. Yet every moment of her giving built the foundation of my life. She walked barefoot on jagged stones, but made sure I walked on soft paths. She let me taste the warmth of love, while hiding her own longing inside. Her heart was a fortress of compassion, her spirit a quiet flame that burned without smoke, that shone without glare, a guide through darkness, a home for weary souls. And though the world called her poor, I know the truth. She gave more than anyone, loved more than most, and became the reason I could rise, breathe, and dream. My poor woman, who never asked for anything, yet gave me everything. She moved through life like a shadow of grace, never demanding, never asking, yet leaving behind a trail of warmth that no one could ignore. Her hands, though small, carried the weight of all our hopes, all our fears, all the moments we could not face alone. She never spoke of her own hunger, never complained of the cold. Instead, she offered me her bread, her fire, her love, as if giving was the only way she could breathe. Her eyes held galaxies, quiet storms of patience, and endless oceans of care. She bore the unspoken burdens of our family, our life, our home, and never asked for praise. Even when the world ignored her, she stood tall in silence, her smile a gentle shield that covered the scars of countless sacrifices. She was the kind of woman who loved without limits, who gave without measure, who stayed strong while bending herself for the happiness of others. And though the years have passed, though her hair has silvered, her heart remains the richest place I have ever known. My poor woman, who asked for nothing, yet gave me everything. She never sought reward, nor whispered for attention. Her love was a quiet storm, sweeping through my life, filling every empty corner with warmth and grace. She bore the weight of unseen trials, and hid her trembling fears, so that no one would notice the heavy burden she carried with such dignity. Every sacrifice she made was a gift of silence, a gentle offering that asked for nothing in return. Her strength was a secret river, flowing beneath calm surfaces, sustaining everything in her path. She smiled through sleepless nights. She stood through aching days. She gave without counting loss, and loved without hesitation. Her tenderness was infinite, her patience beyond measure, and her devotion a quiet miracle of the heart. She did not demand recognition, yet shaped my life completely. Every step I took forward was lit by her unseen hand. Every breath I drew was warmed by her enduring care. Though life gave her little, she gave me everything. Her shadow is my guiding light, her voice a melody of hope, her soul the foundation of every dream I hold dear. My poor woman, who never asked for anything, yet gave me everything. She lived her life in quiet grace, a gentle smile upon her face. No one knew the storm she faced. No one saw the nights she braced. She gave her love without demand, her heart a soft, enduring hand. Each act of care, so small, so grand, Yet none could measure, none could stand. Her days were long, her burdens deep, yet still she sowed what she would keep. She hid her tears, she stifled weep, so others' dreams could safely sleep. She never asked for wealth or fame. She never sought a noble name. Her joy was giving, not acclaim. Her power quiet, her spirit flame. When shadows fell, she lit the way, turning night into soft day. Through every trial, she would stay, and never let her hope decay. She built my world with silent hands. She healed my soul where sorrow stands. Her love the light, the walls, the sands, that shape the life which fate commands. Though poor in eyes of men and kings, she gave me boundless, endless things. My heart forever echoes rings of gratitude for what she brings. My poor woman, who never asked for anything, yet gave me everything. She never sought applause, nor looked for anyone's gaze. Her life was woven quietly, with patience, love, and grace. She bore the storms of life alone, yet never let me see the weight she carried silently, the cost of giving freely. Her hands were worn, her back was tired, yet she built a world of care. She held my dreams before her own, and gave me all she could spare. She never asked for comfort, nor whispered for reward, yet every act of her devotion was a kingdom in accord. She gave without condition, loved without a claim, and left behind a trail of light that no one else could name. When sorrow pressed upon our door, she stood, a quiet flame. Her sacrifice became my strength. Her courage kept me sane. She never sought the world's respect, but still she shaped my days. Her life, a humble masterpiece, in unassuming ways. She asked for almost nothing, yet gifted all to me. My poor woman, who never asked for anything, yet gave me everything. She walked through life with quiet, steady hands, carrying burdens no one saw, yet never letting them fall. Her love was a soft river, flowing endlessly, touching every corner of my world, giving warmth where there was cold. She gave her time, her strength, her youth, without asking for a thing. She held my dreams in her heart, and shielded me from suffering. When sorrow knocked at our door, she stood strong and unafraid. Her courage was silent, her sacrifices unseen, yet every act of love became the light in my life. She never sought praise or glory, nor counted what she lost. She simply gave, and made my life complete. Even as she gave up her own, her eyes held galaxies that no one else could see. Her heart beat quietly for a world she never claimed. She never asked for anything, yet gave me everything. My poor woman, the richest soul I have ever known. She lived without asking, yet gave me every breath. Her life was quiet courage, her heart the depth of seas. She held my sorrows gently, and hid her own away. She let me rise while bending low, sacrificing night for day. Her hands were worn and trembling, yet built a world for me. Her voice was soft and patient, a song of loyalty. She never sought a crown, nor glory for her name. Her love was silent, boundless, an everlasting flame. Through every storm and struggle, she carried me with care. Her spirit, strong and tender, was more than I could bear. Though poor in worldly treasures, she was the richest soul. Her giving had no measure. Her love made me whole. My poor woman, who never asked for anything, yet gave me everything.